Have you ever wondered to yourself, why is golf so hard? Of course you have. Everyone, even the pros, say it nearly every round. While there is no escaping the difficulty of the game itself, there are 5 key things you and most every amateur do every round that's making it much harder. Today, I will show you those 5 mistakes, how to fix them, and with that, how to make this impossible game a little more possible. Let's get right into it. The first huge mistake that golfers make is they try to shape their shots like the pros do. For example, I'm on the 10th hole at Tampa Palms, which is a par 4, and it goes dog leg left. So the smart shot for the pros would be, well, why don't I just hit a little draw and wrap it around the water? The problem for me is I actually hit a fade. So for me to try to hit a draw here, I probably just hook it right into the water. So here's the solution. Once you've identified what your shot shape is of what you consistently hit. So if you consistently hit a draw, just stick to hitting a draw on every hole. I don't care which way the hole goes, just hit your draw on every shot. If you're like me and Jack, I don't want to compare myself to Jack Nicklaus, but he hit a fade, a little power fade. If you're like us, Jack Nicklaus and I, if you're like us who hit fades, then I'm just going to play a fade on every shot. So when you try to mix and match, because you're looking at the whole layout, and you're like, yeah, well, I'll hit a little fade here. I played with this guy named Myron Golden. Fantastic businessman. He makes a whole bunch of money. Genius when it comes to business. You get Myron Golden on the golf course and his brain cells don't seem to be functioning anymore. He'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna hit a little draw here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hit a little fade here. And he thinks he's Tiger Woods, and he'll try to play to the hole, and then he double crosses and he hits it in the woods, and I gotta go look for his ball. Anyway, if you wanna be like Myron in business, go for it. On the golf course, forget about it. I'm gonna show you an example here of what I'm talking about. The brain is looking at this saying, if I hit a fade, I'm gonna have to start it out kind of by the edge of the water and fade it back, but that's my shot shape, so I'm actually gonna stick to it here instead of trying to wrap a draw around the water just because that's the way the hole goes. Let's go, baby. Nice little baby draw, right down the middle, right side of the fairway. Again, I know that with my new grip and my new swing, I hit a little fade. Instead of trying to draw it around the water here, I hit a fade and I'm in the fairway. So next time you go golfing, before the round, just know, okay, I usually hit a draw or I usually hit a fade, and just stick to your shot shape throughout the whole round, irregardless of which way the hole goes. Mistake number 2 is that during your round, it is not time to start working on your swing. So you've probably been at the driving range and one of your buddies comes up to you and they start telling you all these things to work on your swing. And then you get out on the course and you play one of the worst rounds you have played in months because you're all scatterbrained out on the course. I got to put my grip here. I can't go back as far. I have to have good posture. I have to do this. I have to do that. I heard this guy on YouTube say this. I saw this guy on Instagram say this. My buddy Rick told me this. And you got all these thoughts going through your mind, which is devastating when you get out on the course. So I like to have one swing thought that I work on each round. So I'm only thinking about one thing. If you're just starting out in golf, my only swing thought would be hit the back of the ball, 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 and just focus on that. I've been golfing for my whole life, basically, and my handicap's a 3. So sometimes I have one thing I'm working on, and that's season of my progression of my game, which right now is my posture. So when I walk up to the ball, I'm just focused on my posture, being good and athletic. How's my posture looking, Gabe? But that's all I'm focused on is my posture. Hit that right side of the green. A little short. Chipping a putt, no big deal. But my point is, work on your swing at the driving range. Once it's time to get onto the golf course, I would keep your swing thoughts to the minimum, maybe singularly focus on one swing thought per round, but don't get all scatterbrained thinking about all this stuff. You can go work on that at the range after the round. One of the biggest mistakes high handicap golfers make is when they're around the greens, they try to finesse these flop shots and these miracle hero shots that they see the pros do on TV. The problem is the pros are practicing their short game typically for hours a day, multiple hours in a week. They're spending around the practice green practicing. Now I encourage you, if you want to truly get better at chipping, have at it. Go to the practice green and work on your flop shot. Work on getting the muscle memory of chipping. But when you get out here on the golf course and you got a very difficult shot like this, where I got to go over the bunker and then there's not much green to work with, and the pin's tucked right there, hitting a flop shot is absolutely silly because you're either gonna flop it into the bunker or you're gonna blade it over the green. Or even worse, you're gonna flop it and you're gonna leave it short. That didn't even get to the bunker. That one bladed over the green. Now I got a blow up hole. I just hit 2 chips. I got to go hit a 3rd chip, and I'm not even on the green. And next thing you know, you got a 9 or a 10, which I'll take a 9 or 10. So here's the smart way to play this shot. I'm not going to attempt a flop shot here. I'm going to aim this thing up out there to the middle of the green, the fat part of the green, and focus on just hitting a nice chip out there onto the back side of the green, take my medicine, and then get a 2-putt from there. So remember, my first time of trying to flop it over this bunker like a dumb butt, I chunked it here, bladed over the green, I'm still chipping. I'm gonna get a 9 or a 10. This time, I'm gonna take my medicine, I'm aiming to the fat part of the middle of the green out there, just like that. Now, I hit it onto the green, and I'm gonna go get a 2-putt, take my medicine, and hopefully next time I won't short side myself like this on my approach shot. But again, I avoided the blow up hole by just chipping it to the fat part of the middle of the green, not a flop shot, just a regular chip shot. So next time you're around the greens, don't try to be a hero and do what you saw on TV. Save that for your practice at the practice short game area at your golf course. But when you're out on the course, make the smart play, hit it to the fat middle part of the green if you're in a big predicament like this where you have a bunker in between you and that tight pin. So to emphasize how much this lowers your score, on my example where I hit it over here to the fat part of the middle of the green, I didn't try to hit that heroic flop shot. Now I have this for par, so all I gotta do is get a nice easy 2-putt from here, and I take my medicine, just like that. I'll go ahead and tap. So there you go. That was an easy bogey, whereas with my other shots where I tried the hero flop shot, I bladed them over the green. It took me 2 shots just to get there. I'm still chipping. I'm looking at 9, 10, 11, 12. So don't try to be a hero around the greens. If you're in a predicament, just chip it to the fat part of the green, get an easy 2-putt, and get out of there with avoiding a blow-up hole. Another gigantic mistake that golfers make, especially high handicappers, they think that if you swing harder, somehow that's going to correlate into the ball going farther. The reality is what's going to make the golf ball go farther is you actually hitting the ball on the center of the club face. It's actually more likely that you're going to connect with the center of the club face if you swing at about 80%. You really focus on making clean contact rather than trying to swing out of your shoes, because when you try to swing out of your shoes, so much can go wrong. I crushed that thing. So I actually did hit that on the center of the club face and went over the green. But when you try to just whack it like that, you can miss it on the club face. What you actually want to do, which will produce a better result, I'm going to swing it about 85% here and really focus on making good, clean contact. Because if I make good, clean contact with the center of his club face, the ball is going to get some distance. Just like that. I pushed it a little right, but it went pretty far because I actually hit it on the center of the club face. A catastrophic mistake that high handicap golfers make is you're always playing recovery golf. So you slice your drive into the trees and then you try to hit a hero shot out of the trees up on the green rather than just punching it out in the fairway. Or you hit a shot into the hazard and you take a drop and you're like, well, I only got 200 yards left. Let me try to go at the pin from 200 yards and you hit another bad shot, and those mistakes compound. So what's wild about the pros, and I've caddied in groups with the pros before, Stuart Appleby, KJ Choi. I've been around golfers and got to watch how they manage the course, and what they calculate is where can I miss and avoid those big penalties. So let me show you a perfect example. This is one of my favorite shots out here at Tampa Palms. This is the 16th hole, and there's water all the way down the left side here. So I got 153 yards in to the green here. So what the pros would calculate is that, okay, if I miss anything short, I'm in the water. If I miss anything left, I'm in the water. So instead of aiming at the pin like a schmuck, I'm gonna actually aim on the right side of the green. And if I miss right of the green, I can live with that. Even though there's 3 bunkers over there, I'd rather be chipping out of the bunker than taking a penalty drop, especially if my ball just goes into the water over here. I gotta drop all the way back here over again, and I'm looking at a blow-up hole. So I'm measuring out where's the best place to miss. And the answer is right and long. I'm in those bunkers. That's way better than anything left and short into the water. So I'm actually going to aim this at the right side of the green, actually kind of on the right fringe. And my goal here is for this brand new TaylorMade TP5 not to go into the water. So I have plenty of club and I'm aimed to the right side of the green. And I pushed it just a little bit. It's going right at that bunker, and it is in the bunker. So I'm okay with that. That would be what would be considered a good miss. Because again, if I pull this ball in this example here into the hazard in the water, then I got to drop just up here in front of me and I'm looking at a blow up hole. But now I can go probably get an up and down from that bunker. Worst case scenario, I chip it out onto the green and 2-putt and I get out of here with a bogey. Next time you go out and golf, pay attention what your surroundings are by the green and where's the best place to miss, and aim accordingly, because you really want to avoid the blow-up holes. So this was actually a good miss, even though I'm in the bunker. I was aimed kind of on this right side of the green. Ideally, I would have liked to hit a green in regulation, but I pushed it a little bit, and I'd much rather be chipping for birdie than dropping back there and looking at a blow-up hole because I was in a penalty shot. So I'm going to take my medicine here and try to chip this out on the green, 2-putt, get my bogey, and move on. Just like that. Wow, that actually turned out pretty good. So now I got to look at par, and I avoided the blow-up hole because I paid attention to where I wanted to miss. So many golfers, just high handicap golfers, they try to be these heroes out here, and they would have just aimed at the pin at the middle of the green. Then if you miss it by a little bit, you're probably in the alligator infested water and you're looking at a blow-up hole. I actually have a chance to save par here because I had a good miss. In summary, what we learned in today's video is, number one, know your shot shape. If you hit a draw, stick to your draw. I don't care what the hole layout is, hit your draw. If you hit a fade like Jack Nicklaus and me, stick to your fade no matter how the hole layout is set up. Number two, don't have multiple swing thoughts where you're thinking about everything that the guy at the range told you before the round. Just stick to one simple swing thought. I'm focused on hitting the back of the ball. I'm focused on hitting the back of the ball. I'm focused on hitting the back of the ball. Or me personally, I'm focused on not hunching over, but having good posture. Number three, we talked about not being a hero around the greens. If you're in a tight situation, chip to the middle of the green, get your 2-putt, take your medicine, and get out of there. Number four, we talked about what truly makes the golf ball go farther. The distance. If you want to increase your distance, increase hitting the ball in the sweet spot. If you can hit the ball in the center of the club face, that's going to make the ball go farther, because if you just try to swing harder, you're more than likely going to miss the sweet spot of the club face, and it's actually not going to go farther. So I would swing at 80, 90%, whatever you got to swing at to really make sure you hit that sweet bullseye spot in the middle of the club face, because that's what's going to make the ball take off. And then last but not least, learn from the pros. They are taking assessment to what's around the green. If there's out of bounds anywhere on the course, they are going to aim away from the out of bounds. There's no point of getting the frustrating penalty shot. They asked Jim Nantz, the epic broadcaster, one time, what's one rule in golf you wish you could change, Jim Nantz? And he said the out of bounds. The penalty is so severe. You hit it into the white stakes out of bounds, 1 off the tee, now you're hitting 3 off the tee. It's such a severe penalty. And red hazards are penalties as well with the water. So if there's a hazard on the hole, pay attention to where that is and aim away from that. It's okay to miss in the area that's safer to miss. So be paying attention to where to miss and plan your shot accordingly. I really am enjoying you guys sharing in the comments what state, what city, what country you are watching from. I get so hyped because we got an international crowd here. I'm down in Florida, as you can see from the alligators and the water and the beautiful sunshine state. It's 93 degrees Fahrenheit today, and we're out here filming this to help you get better at golf. So if you found value in today's video, please subscribe. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and I hope to catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.